It says I'm live. Looks like the audio is working. Got the camera working. Although there's a lot of glare. Let me check something real quick. There we go. That's not as much glare. It's still pretty bad though. I rearranged my lighting in here a little bit and everything is just different. Let's see here. See if I can do this on the fly. Let's see. Advanced. So autofocus, let's get rid of that. Move all this off to the side and let's see if I can get some of this fixed. Well, it's not going to be that. Let's try brightness. There we go. That took some of the glare off. That's not as bad. Oh, so as you can see, I've been kind of rearranging stuff here. I've set up an overhead camera. Calvin helped me. He designed a piece that mounts up there on the wall, a piece that mounts down here for the camera. And so I've been playing around with it, trying to get something fixed up so I can have an overhead shot if I ever need it, which I might be able to. Yeah, Eddie, I messed something up. Oh, Teresa, thank you for joining. Forgive me if I get your name wrong, but IBN. Oh, I don't even know how to pronounce that. Thank you for joining. Eddie, once again, thank you. NES controller. Okay. So recently went up to saw Travis of Pyro Designs, and he works for a really cool sign shop. And so he made this sign for me. It's a it starts out as just a piece of metal that's been powder coated white, and then they do this this print, and they do a heat transfer, and it transfers it directly to the white the powder coated steel, and imprints all the ink onto it. So actually, I can go ahead and take this out of the wrapper now. So he was the one that did the movie poster that's back here. He's the one that did that one for me a long time back when I saw him last year. Anyway, it turns out really cool. But I got that one, and then let's see, does that work? Yeah, that'll work. Let's see, where's Calvin's at? Calvin got this one. Studebaker. But this is one of my favorite ones right back here. It's not a movie poster. It's actually it's a steel sign, but it looks just like a movie poster. It's really cool. Let's try to figure out homes for everything now that I've got this new shelving unit. I didn't expect it to be as big as it is. I think it's something like 6.5 feet per section. I got 2 sections here. And it takes up a very good portion of this room. Still got all the junk around me, though, but oh, goodness. Rover, thank you for joining. Appreciate it. Calvin we were planning on doing a stream tonight, but his local college up there has decided that they want to eliminate the welding class. And Calvin feels very strongly about that, so he decided he wants to go up there and fight him. So he's up there waiting his turn to yell and scream at him. They got their mind made up anyway, but you know how that works. He's got to try, so more power to him. Anyway, what I want to go ahead and do is I want to try getting my Tevo Flash working. Let me go ahead and pull it over here. Let's see. Now, this is a great machine, don't get me wrong. The problem is, the other day when, well, it's been a few weeks ago, Calvin was doing some printing with it, and it had some major layer shifts. I mean, major. And it had to do in this direction. But check this out. I don't know if there's like several big grabs right there. And I got a feeling it's going to be in the wheels. So just so happen to have an extra set of wheels laying around here. So I think what I'm going to do is go ahead and get into this and see if I can switch those out. So what I'm going to go do is pull this glass bed off so I can see what I am doing. Loosen the nut. If all else fails, Eddie. Yeah, I think it's a flat spot in the wheel is what's actually going on. Theresa, loosen nuts. Oh, goodness. I tried loosening the eccentric nut, but there's a huge catch in it. So I got a feeling there's a flat wheel on it. Hey, TK, how you doing? But either way, let's go ahead and take this bed off and let's just see what we're up against. So I got those nuts off. Go ahead and pull this back over here to the side. There we go. And let's go ahead and lay this on its side so I can take a closer look this direction. I want to see if it has anything to do with this. These all look straight. I don't see any problems with the rail whatsoever on that side. And that side doesn't have the eccentric nuts anyway, so let's go over to this side now. Yeah, these wheels might be where the problem's at. I can try just loosening it first to see if that will help any, but I want to make sure there's no flat spots. I've had flat spots on wheels before, and it can cause some major problems. He castrated the printer. No, I did not castrate the printer. Hey, Rick, how you doing? I don't know what's quite going on there. Is that... There's a major catch right there. Well, let's go ahead and try loosening up the eccentric nut and just see if that fixes it. Should I try my overhead camera and see how that works? Let's see here. Let's see if I got the ability here. Let's see. I haven't played around a whole lot with this just yet. Let's go ahead and bring this down. Now, granted, the table is going to be pretty messy. Everything around here is pretty messy at the moment. Okay, I'm going to try bringing it up right now. Let's see if it works. I think that changed the views. Let's see. Right there, it's got a huge catch. That's got a huge catch. There. It's not the rail. So let's try loosening this one over here first. That might be the wrong. Oh, there we go. It's definitely making it better. Let's see, it's also making it a little bit looser. Let's try moving this other one just a hair. The catch isn't as noticeable, but it's still there. But it's way more fluid than it was. Let's try just a little bit more. Now, in the future, what I'm planning on doing on this overhead camera, I'd like to get one more of those the Logitech cameras, because they just work a whole lot better than what I just don't like the fisheye effect. Okay. That just almost eliminated that altogether. I'm still getting a little bit of wobble to it, so let me see if I can make up the difference with this one. Not really. Let's see if I can just tighten that one just a hair to make up the difference. No, still got some wobble. Did you get to talk yet, Calvin? Or did they shut it down and said, no, thanks, we don't want nobody talking no more? That's usually what they like to do. That is just way looser than it was. That's too tight. Try that right there. Want it a little bit looser. I think that was right there is going to do it. I just want to tighten. Well, actually, that feels tight. I don't think I have to worry about it. Let's see. I might as well just, well, seems like everything is in place except for that. These two springs. This wouldn't fall off. It's all right. There we go. That feels way better. It's got a little bit of a grab, but nothing like it did. I think that might be tolerable. Just go ahead and switch cameras back. Yes, Eddie, you do need to send a bill. Yeah, I owe you big time, my friend. There we go. Get away from the messy table. Yeah, one thing I want to do is I want to get a Logitech camera and put for the overhead. I think that'd be way better. I just don't like the fisheye effect of that one. Okay. The next thing I'm going to do is re-level the bed. I think we're going to be all right. If I do replace the wheels, get the open build wheels. I'll check those out. I don't understand why, like, because the wheels look smooth and they feel smooth. I don't understand why it's got that catch to it, unless the bearings are starting to act up. But by just loosening it, like you said, that seemed to make it tolerable. We'll pull those down pretty far because I imagine that bed is going to. Yeah, I can press the springs pretty good. I think it's going to be all right. Let me grab something, wipe everything off. I should have tested this before the stream, but. I can always do that Barkley's thing. Let me grab something real quick here. There we go. Get some of the extra dust off of this. Work printer. Everything got dusty out here when we started moving stuff. Okay. So let's grab us a power cord. Well, this might be the shortest stream in the history of streaming, huh? Oh, that's right. This one's got that BL touch on it. Well, that might be interesting to see how that works. Let's see. There. PLA. PLA. There we go. Now I just need a piece of paper. I think. Well, the thing is, it does have that BL touch on it, so maybe I don't need to worry about it. Maybe I'll let it just do its own little leveling thing. Just kind of fixing the Tevo Flash. It had a little bit of a catch in it, and on the bed, it had a real bad catch to it. Now it's running real nice and smooth. I think it's going to be just fine now. It's to get. I can feel a little thump, 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 but nothing like it was. Not the type of deal where it wants to just stop it. And I think that's where it was messing up pretty bad. Get this out of there. There we go. And I guess let's just see if it'll hum itself. I still love how smooth this machine moves. Bed leveling. Is there anything else I need to do as far as the bed leveling? I don't need to do a self-test. The BL touch, we know that works. Maybe it'll auto do it whenever it starts to print. Calvin, if you're in here, please let me know. Does it automatically level itself, testing the different spots before it prints, or do I need to do something special with it? A Pyro Design! How you doing, my friend? There it is. So it doesn't look right on camera now. There, that looks better. Lay it back a little bit. Let's see. Let me grab. I gotta find where all my filament went because Calvin moved everything in here. He came in while I was at work, took down my old shelves, and passed everything around. Let's see. Violet. That will work. Let's see. Uh-oh. Calvin, no. No, Calvin. Okay, it feels like it's going to be all right. I don't feel catch. Oh, that's not good. Has it gotten that brittle already? Rats. Too much moisture. And this is why I need one of those boxes, Travis. Let's see. That will work. No, it didn't go through the whole deal. Yes, wrap box. That's exactly what I need to get. Well, that's not looking very pretty. Okay, Calvin. So how in the world do you level this thing? Or was it because I had too much? You know what? Let me wipe down that bed a little bit. Maybe that's where I'm going wrong. So it seemed like it was wanting to stick, but it just didn't. But how do you get the BL Touch to go over the entire build plate so I can level it? There we go. That made things sticky again. Let's see here. Let's see. Somewhere in the menu. I can't remember. Okay, if anybody knows what I'm supposed to do in order to level the entire build plate with a BL Touch, can someone let me know, please? Should be under prepare. Okay. I'm going to move the screen over this way so if anybody else says anything, I'll see it. Prepare bed leveling. Maybe. Okay. That's looking promising. Yep, there we go. That's what I was looking for. Let's do its little thing there. I thought I had this out of the way. Yeah, I'm really messing things up now. is it doing that? Get over there. There we go. Somewhat out of the way. Okay, so I guess that's it. Now we'll tell it to FMSD. I'll print the shaft. I thought you already set the Z offset. We'll see. Either it's set or it's not set. What's this? Waits for 3 with that comment. I didn't move the bed. I did not touch the bed. Although I don't know why it's not printing, because it should be printed by right. Start printing right by now, shouldn't it? I guess it's doing its final heating. Okay, there we go. He said, print that shaft. Okay. Okay. I got to remember, this is Calvin's profile from Simplify 3D, so it prints differently than the ones I use on Cura. Okay, so far that's looking nice. That's looking good so far. So it looks like the offset's stuck. Yep, it's looking good. First layer went down just right. I just love how quiet this machine is. All I hear is just the fan. You can't hear the steppers. Still one of my favorite printers. That's one of the biggest upgrades I want to do on the Tevo Tornado, is to get those, was it the TMC 2100s? Is that right? I thought it was a different number than that everybody's saying to get. I definitely want to put those on that printer and get that thing quiet. That thing would be cool like that. It'd be even cooler with this design for the blowers. Yeah, we did have it auto level. You had to go into prepare and then level bed, and then it did the auto leveling that way. Yeah, I thought it would also. I always thought it would auto level before the print, but it didn't do that. Well, Calvin, now that you're free, are you wanting to stream on your channel, or you want to wait and do it tomorrow night sometime? Or you're probably driving home right about now, aren't you? Well, see, I didn't create this G code. This is Calvin's G code. So it's all Calvin's fault on this one. Okay, so your throat is scratchy, really? What have you been doing up there, Calvin? No, seriously. We'll talk tomorrow. I'm taking Beth to Yosemite tomorrow, so we'll talk tomorrow afternoon and see how everything's panning out. And we'll go just kind of play it by ear that way. Is this supposed to move this slow, Calvin? Is this what your G code does? Printer simple does auto level before every print. Yeah, I believe it does. That's why I was surprised on this one it didn't do that. Minimum layer time. Man. So how long does it take to print the axle on this thing? Like 12 hours? Well, the good thing is I'm not hearing any clunking or anything as it's moving back and forth. So that's going to be a huge help, I believe. Oh, I see what's happening. It's got that bevel to it. That's why it's doing it. Okay. Once it gets past the bevel, it should speed up. I'm just going to print one for now, Calvin. Let's want to print this, and then I'll print the body. I want to see if that body prints without shifting. But I figure do the axle first because that'll be a kind of a cool test on it. Make sure everything's looking straight. My main thing is make sure that first layer was sticking right, and it looks like it's doing just fine. I think other than the original print, I think this is my first time of actually printing with this by myself because Calvin was doing most of the printing on this printer. I don't even know what happened to that print that I had. Yeah, there it is. I know there's more of them, but this is one sample of it shifting. It that's been peeled up, but it shifted over, and you can see on several layers it went one layer at a time, just kind of shifted until it was pretty much going to fail, and then that's when we stopped it. But unfortunately, it was after it got nearly to the top of it. So I think that problem is fixed now. Now that it doesn't have that hard catch to it. Yeah, Calvin had some huge shifts. I don't even know where that piece went. Let's see. Yeah, I don't see it. I know we've tossed it somewhere around here. We might have threw it in the trash last week. I don't remember. 30 said, well, that's shifty. Well, it's past the bevel, but still taking its sweet time. Cool. Well, I said what I wanted to try out. I wanted to try out, make sure I could get this thing going. And it looks like my camera blew out again because I'm seeing it looks like it's all blown out on the color and everything. From that, I don't know what's going on. I got to get these cameras figured out. But how do you guys like that overhead camera? Does it look all right whenever I had it on there, or should I go ahead and slowly but surely invest in another Logitech for an overhead? I think it's probably the direction I want to go. Unless anybody knows of another brand camera that's fairly good. Well, yeah, I had to wear the Jay's 2 cent shirt. I had to. I put it on. I walked up to Beth and said, so does this increase my sex appeal? Hey, Jay says it increases your sex appeal, so I have to. Yeah, the C20, the 920, honestly, I really like it. A Sony A6000. I'll look into it. Or even the 5100. Teresa says, no, it's not. And Mr. Girl says, it's not pink. I know. I had to take that shirt off. I got to take my rest from that brand for a little bit here. No sexy improvement. Sorry. Okay, sorry about that. I tried. Oh goodness. Well, it doesn't look like it's going to speed up. It looks like it's going to be the slow and steady print. So I'll just go ahead and let the thing cook for the night. Come out in the morning, see how it looks. So you guys want to talk about anything, or should I just go ahead and wrap this up and go to bed? I need to get my DC back from Jay. Oh man. So much for the tidbits. Stuff and rambling. Stuff and things. Okay. How are tricks? I don't know. I haven't tried any for a while. Work situation. Well, it's kind of evened out this week. I'm sure many of you have heard, and I'm not really going to go into detail here because it's been all over the news this past week. But let's just say there were a lot of people sweating it out for about 2 days. But everything is kind of eased back out. My store wasn't on the hit list on this round, so we should be good until Christmas, and then after that they'll go from there and decide what they want to do. But that buys me another couple months, so we'll see what happens at that point. I don't know whether I want to stay on the ship until it sinks, or if I want to weigh other options and get out before while the getting's good. So we'll see about that. Right now, everything seems to be all right, so I'm all right for the moment. Thank you very much for asking. I appreciate it. Yeah, I really do want to get the store in order. I really do. But it's a matter of, will the company be around long enough for me to actually make that happen? That's the biggest question. No, they never do take care of the guys who go down with the ship. I've known several people who have done that for other companies, and they make them every promise under the sun. And at the end of the day, they end up in a big legal battle trying to get what they were promised and pretty much were told to pound sand. So, yeah, you're right. They never take care of it. My biggest thing is I just hate leaving my team. It's not the higher ups. It's not all that. It's the people who I work with day in and day out. I just hate leaving them behind. So that's one of the hard things. But at the same time, I mean, if there's an offer made somewhere, I might just consider it. Yeah, exactly. Get it in writing. Funny thing is, though, even when they do put it in writing, it all boils down to courts. That's what it all boils down to. And even though something's in writing, there's other things that preempt that. DK says you have to look after number one at the end of the day. That's true. Nope. There's no way I could ever afford to buy it. The way it's, first off, I don't have the money. Second off, it's attached to the store, so there's no way of doing that. And third off, there's there's just no way that would ever happen, unfortunately. Even if I did have the money, it would never be able to happen, unfortunately. Yeah, believe me, there was probably about 3 or 4 nights that I got little or no sleep because we knew what was happening while before it happened. We knew it was coming, but it's one of those situations where you don't know what's going on, and everybody just kind of shuts up and they don't tell you what's going on. So there was some very stressful nights for sure. But finally, after they made their announcement and everything happened that way, things kind of broke loose as far as communication goes. So it made you feel a little bit better. But yeah, that was rough. Yeah, that's right, TK. That's one of the reasons why I got out of the sandblasting is because it boils down to a one man show is just hard to operate. And when it's your own deal, then you're dealing with all the, like, even till now, it's the funniest thing because I got out of sandblasting because of the restrictions and the regulations. Yet I go right back into a business where that's like the number one thing is restrictions and regulations. Oh, it's like we're jumping out of the frying pan into the fire, but at the same time, it's you pretty much know how to handle things at that point, so it's not too bad. And plus, anything that comes out of anybody's pocket doesn't come out of your own, so that's a huge improvement over being your own boss. Otherwise, everything comes up, it comes out of your pocket. I still have the equipment, but I haven't picked up the sandblasting hose in over 2 months. I think it's been over 2 months since I did anything at all. And ironically, even a month later, I was still pulling sand out of my eyes. Angel's asking if I can send one of the printers for a mechanical engineer club at my college or school doesn't give us enough budget to buy one. The thing is, these printers have been sent to me by companies to do reviews, so I have to complete all the reviews before I could even consider anything. The other thing is, where are you located? Because the shipping can be almost as expensive as the printers sometimes. Whatever, maker. Thank you for joining. The thing about sandblasting cars, if you sandblast a car, especially the newer models, it will warp the metal because of the heat that's generated from the process. Um, I can safely sandblast a 60s Mustang. I can do some of the pickups and stuff that's in the 70s. When you get up into the 80s, you are taking a chance. You might be able to do a pickup in the inside of a pickup bed, but as far as any body panels, you will definitely start warping them. And then today's cars, you just look at them and they'll start to warp, unfortunately. Yeah, Rover's got a really good point there, Angel. I definitely would contact some of the printer companies because they will definitely work with you. They would love to have that feather in their cap that they supplied a school with yay many printers and helped you get started in something. It's definitely something I would look into. It would definitely be a whole lot less expensive than the shipping for one of these to New York. That's for sure. Hey Curtis, how you doing? When are you coming back to Cali? Calvin, Curtis, who's this? Curtissa? I know I'm used to seeing Lucky 13 and I'm seeing Curtis M. November 5th. Sweet. 3 days before my birthday. We need to make plans. Swearing in cursive. Oh man. I never noticed you changed it before. That's cool. Well, so far so good. I don't see any shifting. I don't see any problems happening at the moment. So I'm just going to let this thing cook. Let's see. You'll be flying in on the 4th. Cool. We will definitely be talking before then. Calvin will probably be out of town, so we don't have to. No, just kidding. Hey, Rover, you're right. You did change it. Definitely makes it a lot easier. Did Calvin go to sleep? I think Calvin went to sleep. Now I can start talking about Calvin. I got to tell you about that guy. No, Calvin still lives up in San Francisco. He comes down here usually about once a week. This week he's not because he's feeling under the weather and he had that meeting to go to and some other stuff came up. But he's been spending a lot more time down here playing with the printers. Let's face it. Oh, we woke Calvin up. Yes, he needs to cut his hair shorter. He's almost respectable. Almost. Oh, God. Oh, if Theresa came to Murph and me and Calvin, well, I don't know about Calvin, but if I was able to go there, oh my God, yeah. We would get kicked out probably. There would be so much shenanigans going on. It would be hilarious. Yeah, there's definitely room for your Moai now, I think. I think we could find a spot to place it. See what you don't see past that printer. Well, you can see where I need to come up with a new backdrop because that backdrop doesn't match. But there's another probably 3, almost 4 feet beyond that printer. So there's definitely enough room. Curtis says if I go, I can assure it happens. Have a good night, Rick. Thank you very much for joining, my friend. Oh, that would be cool if you can get him a passport. I still got to get a passport. I never planned on ever flying my entire life until this thing came up with the company where I had to go back to Chicago, and now I don't think I'd have any problem with flying. So now I'm starting to think, okay, where else can I go? After stream, make sure you watch Calvin's uploaded video. That's right. Pop that link into the chat, Calvin. Yeah, being it's weird, like playing a part fairy, part train. That's about right too. That's exactly what I was thinking. Hey, Paul. Uh, Whenever I started the stream, uh, the Flash had this really bad kind of a. I think it was like Oh goodness. I haven't seen him in the chat for a while. He must have left us already. Oh goodness. Why is that off? There we go. I used to feeling that little clicking. Eddie had mentioned that one of the rollers was probably a little bit too tight. That I just needed to loosen the eccentric nut, and that turned out to be the problem. What was happening is it would just have a hard jam to it, and several times down the rail, it just would just like stop, and you could feel it as you move the bed along, and it caused on a few of our prints it caused layer shifting. So we took and loosened everything up, kind of got it adjusted, and now it doesn't have that hard jam to it anymore. So now it seems like it's moving fluid enough where I don't think we'll have any more issues as far as layer shifts. What's this? Don't call Jimmy slow. Oh goodness. He's too slow. Calvin was way too Calvin was way too slow. Oh goodness. Oh, 3D printers break down for multiple reasons. Wear and tear is the number one thing that happens with 3D printers. Uh, I mean, you're dealing with plastic up against aluminum, which over time that can cause flat spots in the wheels. Ironically, that's not the issue with this. I didn't feel any flat spots in the wheels. I just don't understand why it was doing that, except for maybe the bearings might be something in the bearing might be a little bit off that could be causing it. So by taking the pressure off it, it loosened the bearing up. That's all I could figure. But that's the biggest thing with 3D printers is just wear and tear. Yeah, it didn't break down. It just didn't print right. Yeah, right from the start, you can notice a little bit, but it actually got worse as time went on. So it's something that I figure eventually I'm going to have to address at a later time, a little bit more in depth. But right now, it's working just fine. Yeah, it causes the bearings to bind. That's about the best way of describing it. Yeah, I think Calvin is on his old internet. Either that or he hasn't moved that little bar at the bottom of the video all the way to the to the right. He's still back like 5 minutes. Eddie's funny. What's left is probably left from the bearing being that bind being in one place, rubbing a spot in the balls. Are we talking about bearings still? Yeah, don't need a new heat block, thankfully. Yeah, those can be a bear sometimes. I knew Theresa was gonna get that. Ouch, rubbing on your balls. Oh goodness, yes, she went there. She will always go there. Oh goodness. You had to replace your heat block. Yeah. Those they thankfully that's one of the parts that don't wear out the fastest on the printer. That's usually one of the slower things to have to worry about. It's usually your belts, it's the rollers, the bearings, stuff like that seem to wear out more than a heat block. But when a heat block goes, of course, you're out of business immediately. Well, guys, Theresa's killed 3. Oh goodness! How did you kill 3 hot ends? How? Hey, you're working them too hard. Hey, Ewan. I went live. Calvin didn't. Calvin hid somewhere, I think. Teresa says she's special. Well, guys, it is 9:19, and printer looks like it's doing good. I mean, it's getting up there. It's probably about a quarter of the way, if not a little bit more, passed on this print. So that's looking pretty good. But guys, thank you very much for joining me. Thank you very much for sticking with me through this, because that was actually pretty easy to fix. And thank you very much for your suggestions and everything, and for helping me get this thing fixed up really fast without having to tear into that. Oh, rip the thread in one, rip the micro switch in one, and third got replaced by its Flexion. Oh, sweet. How you like the Flexion? Is it working better? Yes, TK, thank you very much. Lisa, suggested this for me. Oh, Teresa, you're always fun in here. I appreciate it. You make it a light stream every single time. I appreciate it. Okay, guys, well, let's go ahead and call it. Thank you very much for joining me. You guys have a good night. Hope to have everything cleaned up and get some better videos out for you really quick here. You guys take care, and I appreciate it. Catch you next time.